Good morning, everybody. We are back on another adventure. Today, we are heading up to Derby for the Greatest Gathering. It's going to be interesting to see how well everything can be recorded over the event due to how many people are going to be there. But I'm going to take you along for the ride. We are starting at Exeter St David's. We are heading up to London Paddington. Then we are heading across to London Euston before catching the Avanti West Coast service all the way up to Crewe. That's about an hour and 10 minutes. And then from Crewe, we are then catching an East Midlands Railway service across to Derby. Of course, not the most direct route that you can take, but due to me loving the Pendolinos and wanting to see the APT at Crewe, I decided this was the best route to take to be able to cover that. So stay tuned, enjoy the trip, and then I will speak to you again either in Crewe or at Derby. See you shortly. Well, finally got into Derby after what felt like an absolute age. Left Exeter this morning at 9:16 on the London Paddington service. Ran perfectly on time. Loved it. Good journey as always. Crossed to Euston. Gave myself about a 30-40 minute wait at Euston, so I went in and enjoyed the Avanti First Class Lounge, which was absolutely delightful. Very nice range of stuff in there. Didn't grab too much because I was very busy. One, because I wanted to watch the Bachmann announcement, and two, I knew that I was about to head on the Pendolino. Once I got on the Pendolino, I was in first class again, which was very nice. The team on Avanti absolutely smashed it. Within 5 minutes of departure, we had our food ordered. I went for the chicken salad, baguette sandwich thing, some crisps and some chocolate biscuit or some chocolate bar. The sandwich was delightful, very nice, fresh, which is always pleasant. One of the best first class experiences I've had. Crisps, again, really nice, good quality crisps. And the chocolate bar, which I think is sourced locally from a small business in England. Absolutely delicious, one of the best chocolate bars I've ever had. Had 2 or 3 of those on my journey to Crewe. Once I got in at Crewe, I had an hour to kill. Thankfully for me, that meant the late running 57 and Pride Pendolino Rail Tour was sitting across on the platform nearest to the locomotive services depot. Went across, had a little watch of that, watched it depart the station. Very nice, very cool to see how the 57 coupling is meant to work. Of course, down in Devon, we do not use its 57 coupling, and we do have some examples now that just don't have the hook on them. 2 coupled Pendolinos, so very nice to see it doing what it was initially intended to do. That one did leave Crewe 20 minutes late, but that gave me ample opportunity to see it, so I am not complaining. After that I decided to peer over the fence, see what I could see in the locomotive services depot. They did have the Midland Pullman there, as well as some 47s and other stock. Very nice. Of course, probably less in there than there would normally be due to the Greatest Gathering. I then hopped on a East Midlands Railway Class 170. Very, very busy. 2-car unit to get to Derby. I think half the people on board were also heading to Derby by the fact that it completely emptied out once we arrived here. When we got here again, I had a chance to see the Pendolino in Class 57. It was still in the platform adjacent to us, or next to us even, not adjacent to us. And that gave me, well, that's due to it running late, needing to move the unit to the other end of the train so it could reverse and then go towards Lichfield Yard. Once I was there, I also saw an East Midlands Railway 5-car Intercity Express, which looked very nice. Got a picture of that, and that's so that I could tick off Derbyshire on my map of locations that I've taken photos of trains on, and that's county-wise. Once I got here, I caught a taxi to my hotel, and I'm pretty sure 90% of the people staying here are also going to the Greatest Gathering tomorrow. So, brilliant. Plan for tomorrow, of course, get up, have breakfast, Premier Inn style, so very, very happy. Gonna enjoy it a lot, as I always do. I've got a taxi booked for 9:15 to take me from here to the Greatest Gathering. Should get there for roughly 9:25 to 9:30, giving me half an hour to compose myself and have a look around. When I'm there, I've got a cab ride in the Class 93 booked, so of course I will try to get as many photos and videos of that as possible. I'm sure that will be very enticing for all of you. Have a look around. There's some traders here, including my local retailer. I say local, they're about an hour's drive away, but Colonel Model Railway Centre, hour drive, maybe 2. I'm hoping, although I don't think they are, that Derails, although they are my go-to model railway shop, I would definitely recommend them to anyone who's looking to buy models. Derails, best in the business. Their customer care is brilliant. They treat me great, so do they do with the rest of their customers. But yeah, have a look around the traders, see what it's like. And then for me, on Saturday, I am making my way up to Doncaster for the Toc Derby, which is Doncaster versus Exeter. Of course, I won't be filming any of it because that's not relevant to this channel, but the fact that they are sponsored by Ananiar, when of course our local railway company is Great Western Railway, it was a game that I could not miss. I'm also hoping, if I have enough time on Sunday morning, to have a little look around the station, as Doncaster is a place with lots of history. Of course, if I do, I shall film it. But the main priority is tomorrow, the greatest gathering. I'm going to record as much as I can. I do not know what it's going to be like to film there, considering how sardined it could potentially be, how much room. Hoping I'm going to be allowed my stabiliser in, considering it's, doesn't extend your filming space, it just helps stabilise the camera. If not, it is what it is. The video might just be a little bit worse, but I will tell you during the recording if that is the case. But that's enough of me waffling on. You guys want to see it. Let's head to the greatest gathering Rail 200 event. Well, it's absolutely insane in here. Queuing to get into here was ridiculous. Had to ump early because it was becoming a health and safety hazard with people backing up onto the main road. We are inside now. I've decided to go to the furthest corner and work my way in because it's very quiet over here at the moment. Enjoy the pictures and whatever video.
Yes, you can film whatever you want. You're very welcome.
Just put your bags somewhere and
If you just put them up that corner there.
It'll be easy when you go through the engine rooms.
You coming in? Yeah. I'll shut the door behind you so it won't be falling out.
I'll miss it this one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Right,
okay,
okay.
mate.
Okay, so we'll just start our way around the desk very quickly, just a quick spin over it so it gives you an idea of what's what. So here we've got the communication system to speak to the signal box. We've got the air system here, so that's the bogie brakes for 1 and 2 bogies. The main reservoir, and we've got the brake pipe which shows you what's in the train, so that's how you would control the brake down the train like that. Speedometer, we've got the PWS system for the safety system if I'm going too fast or if I'm going to pass a signal, that drops the brake. We've got the AWS system for the signalling. We've got the driver's display unit which controls all the systems in the loco. I can go in and out, do various different things. I can even look in the cameras what's going on behind me, down the sides, in front of me. It's really, really clever. So it gives me an overview of everything that's going on around the loco. The engine start and stop. We've got various coupling for the electronic coupler when it's fitted, parking brake on and off. Down here we've got the mode selection. So here we control the various modes of the loco. So in actual fact we've got 4 modes that we can operate. So we can operate on AC, which is a pantograph, taking power from the wires. We can operate on diesel mode. We can operate on diesel and battery, which makes it a more powerful loco, roughly about the same as a Class 37. And we can also operate on battery mode, which is what we're on at the present moment. So the battery mode's really cool because we can move around depots, we can creep around, not make any noise. We can go in and out of sheds where diesel engines are banned, but we can also haul heavy freight trains around the yard without making noise. So there's some places where you've got railway yards and you've got housing next to it. We're the only locomotive that can creep around and make no noise, and a lot of the neighbours are going to love it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the other end. We're going to do 2 or 3 runs up, and Andy's going to do the technical stuff. I'll shut up if I change, which is unusual for me, and Andy can tell you all about the technical stuff. Okay. I'll go through it and just mind your heads. Follow me through.
PPWS and AWS operational.
So as I said, we're on battery mode at the moment. So do it is take a minute. So silent. If I put the aircon on, put that off, engine's just deadly quiet. What I can also do with the power controller, I can use it as a brake. So as we're running along, if I want to bring the speed down to about 2 miles an hour, I can actually put power back into the batteries by doing this. I can generate power, stick it into the batteries. On AC mode, I'll be putting the power back into the overhead wires. So from an efficiency point of view, this is probably the most efficient locomotive that there is on the network.
Okay, I'll take you back through. And we'll do it. I'll just
TPWS and AWS operational.
So this is the Class 93 locomotive, Stadler product, built in Valencia in Spain. It's part of the Stadler Eurolight family, which is a family of locomotives that are produced for all over Europe, and they're actually used in the Far East as well, in Israel. In the UK, the Class 68 and 88 are very similar locos. They're based on the Eurolight platform, and this locomotive is a development of the Class 93, although it's been uprated in every way. So whereas the 88 is a bi-mode locomotive, as Rob says, this is tri-mode, batteries, engine and pantograph. In battery mode, which we were in, which when you go
We're still out
oh yeah,
when we go the other
when we
way.
go back. So we're in battery mode at the moment. So in this mode we've got 500 horsepower. As Rob said before, this is ideal for shunting around in yards, and it's a clean locomotive when you're in a depot or in a built-up area. In reality, you're probably not going to use battery mode that much on the main line because it's not powerful enough really for hauling heavy trains. With diesel mode, so we've uprated the engine from 900 horsepower in the 88 to 1250 horsepower in this locomotive. But the real beauty of this one is you can combine the engine and the battery together, and that gives you 1750 horsepower, which, as Rob said before, is pretty much equivalent to a Class 37. So a really useful loco in hybrid mode. And we don't flatten the batteries, so it'll drop when you take power, it'll charge back up when we brake or when we're cruising along on the flat. So all this 10-minute battery life is, don't believe all the spiel. And then the last mode that we can go into is electric. So we've got 5,300 horsepower in electric in normal operation, but we can boost that up for a limited time each day to 6,100 horsepower. We get 30 minutes of that each day, and it just raises the limits on the traction electronics. It can do 110 miles an hour as well, so it's very much a mixed traffic locomotive. We can haul heavy or low to medium tonnage freight, so up to 2,000 tonnes quite easily, but we can also stick it on the front of a passenger train, put ETS through, and we can operate at 110 miles an hour. So yeah, very much a mixed traffic loco, and there isn't a lot that it can't do.
Back through again.
If you want to have a wander through, what I'll do is we'll have another run up and down, and then on the way back I'll take you through the engine room.
TPWS and AWS operational.
So Rob's just got to wait now for the traction electronics to deal with the switch over from battery to diesel. So we have to wait for, if you see on the screen there, we've got the DC link, that's the traction electronics. So once the voltage comes back up and they're ready, we can make a move in diesel. So you can see they're coming up now. Once they get to about 1400, 1500 volts, we're ready to go. It will come up quicker than that. If we're on the move, in the same way as we can regenerate when we break into the batteries on the overhead line, if we're on the move, it will keep the DC link high, so we don't have to go through this long wait before we take traction again. But when we're stopped like this, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes just to get going again.
The hardest thing about this loco from a driver's point of view is learning all the functions on the DDU. Once you get a hold of it and you understand it, it's really quite easy. You can navigate your way through it, but it's all the icons and knowing what to do, because going from something like an 87 or a 90 or a Class 37 to this is like learning a new language.
I'll let Rob go down first, and then I'll go down behind him, and then I'll take you through the engine bay on the right. So I'll try and shout if you get a bit noisy in here, especially when the compressor runs. So nothing very interesting that in it's all circuit breakers and switches. This is your brake frame, so this is all your pneumatics for the brakes and the pantograph, horn, sanders, all that kind of stuff. This is half your traction batteries are in this cabinet. And this is your traction electronics. So this is the bit that powers that bogie. This panel here does the bogie at the other end. This is your power electronic cooling module. So this circulates cooling liquid around the power electronics. The second set of batteries are here. And your engine lives in here. questions from anyone?
There's a bloody story.
Well, it was lunchtime, got the food, fish and chips, absolutely brilliant. This event has gone so well, it's so much less crowded than I thought it would be. You kind of see this place and you think, holy cow, it's not too bad. Lots of trade, lots of people, an absolute hell ton of money, odd memorabilia, but I'm happy. Chips are brilliant. We're about halfway through. I've got a ride on an Elizabeth line train in a bit, which I'll have photos of. Also, I apologise if any angles in this video are terrible. It's a bit hard to film one-handed, or two just due to crowd. Whistle off between all the steamers. greatest gathering is now complete. We are back in our hotel room, and what an astonishing day it was. I got there about 9:20 after my taxi driver battled through the traffic. The queue was already out into the main road. It was absolutely atrocious. Thankfully, though, they opened the barriers about half an hour early, let everybody into the concourse by the entrance, and then held everyone in there until about 10 to 10, by which point they then allowed everybody in through the event to look around. As I had my cab ride at 11:20, I decided that I would head to the far side of the ground and work my way back towards the exit. Also meant that I got to look around some areas whilst it was a lot quieter, as most people decided to work in the opposite direction, which was really, really useful for me. Cab ride was astonishing, really enjoyed it. It was a great experience, and definitely worth the £100 I spent on it. Looking around all the locomotives was brilliant. Seeing our Castle class set from Great Western Railway travel down or up, it's just a real shame that ScotRail didn't have any of their Inter7 City fleet available that they could send down. I think they would have looked beautiful together. The 125 group was there, of course, one of the biggest preservation groups for the HSTs, and it was wonderful there. Got a lot of memorabilia from them. I'm really happy to support them and what they're doing. I'm already a member and I will continue to be. Saw some trains I never thought I'd be able to see. Really interesting. You know, seeing Blue Peter, lots of their Tornado, lots of their other steam engines, as well as some electrics that only operate up in the north. Of course, being all the way down in Devon, we are still stuck with the 150s turbos and IETs mainly, as well as a few sprinters. It was really interesting to see the first ever preserved Class 150 repainted and resprayed into the original Sprinter livery. Looks absolutely beautiful on it, and I wouldn't mind Great Western Railway doing that to one of theirs and running it. I think that would look really nice. It's also quite nice to see the Class 90 in the National Railway Museum, 91 I think it was, in the National Railway Museum at livery. Again, seeing a proper vinyl instead of where companies are moving now, where it's just a little decal on the side of the train, but actually having the whole train embrace whatever they're advertising is really nice to see, as well as getting to see the electrics, the resprayed Virgin colour RES, Royal Engineering Society, Class 47 looked beautiful, as well as getting to see the Rail Tour companies 37 and 47. Again, get to see them when they're passing through Devon, but to see them up close and personal was brilliant. Got to see the PVR on tour headboard, of course, on their What If Sentinel in that beautiful swallow livery. If you're ever down near the Plymouth area, keep yourself out into the city and just go to the PVR instead. Also managed to get my eyes on a very nice looking, I think it was a Flirt. Got to sit on one of the new Greater Anglia trains. They looked beautiful and they were doing a lot there. There was a cross-country Voyager set that was there, as well as two deliveried Avanti West Coast Voyagers, wondering if they are staying there being refurbished into the new cross-country livery and then sent out. Very much a possibility unless they are going to a different TOC. Very nice to see quite a few TOCs down there with staff. Had cross-country, LNER, Greater Anglia and Northern. There might have been others I cannot remember exactly, as well as a ton of preservation groups. Making Tracks was also down there. It was very, very much impossible for me to grab any photos or videos. It was so crowded around their layout, but it was nice to see the idea behind it. I do want to see that in full swing one day. That might be a video, depending on if I can ever get a time to go and watch it, as I don't think they'll ever bring it down to Devon. But grabbed myself quite a bit of memorabilia, starting off with the Class 50. This is the limited edition Class 50 Fund Trust Group 50031. That will go very nicely with my 50 that is coming from TMC in the next few weeks. That I got renumbered into 50044 Exeter. Really happy that I finally got to see 50044 in the blood. Just really annoyed that it had vinyl over it and therefore could not see the nameplates. That would have been a picture. But not all hope is lost, because I get to remember it another way. My own full-scale replica of the Class 50 Exeter nameplate, looking absolutely stunning. I think this is done in wood, from what I can tell. It definitely sounds like it. Of course, got myself some bucket hats. Great this gathering one, as well as the Exeter one. I cannot go without something to remember my favourite Class 50, and all the money goes to a preservation group as well. From the HST, I grabbed myself a classic HST mug. That will go very nicely with my drink tonight, as well as a poster with every single livery of HST ever produced. That one I'm going to keep rolled up so that I can display it once I get home, once I find a space to put it. But yes, that is everything. Been really good fun. My trip tomorrow is up to Doncaster. I'll be completely honest, I've completely forgotten how I'm supposed to get there, but I should hopefully get there early doors. I need to get to my hotel and then do what I'm doing up there before travelling back either on Hull trains or LNER down to London and then across to Paddington for the Great Western Railway service back home. Hopefully I am not forced to sit on a Voyager, because I will be very, very annoyed if I'm sat on a Voyager for 7 hours instead, because the East Coast Main Line has decided to shit itself, which wouldn't surprise me, because that's just my luck when I'm travelling on a Sunday. But I'll do all the B-roll for that. There won't be any more talking from me. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you've gone to the Greatest Gathering, leave your comments below. Have you enjoyed it? I'm sure you have. But until the next video, Trains R Us signing out.